Hey guys, hope you're enjoying your Normark. Firstly, what we're going to do today is I'm going to run you through all your pool equipment and what each thing does. Firstly, we have our multi-cyclone filter. This is connected to your in-floor cleaning, and this does majority of the work in cleaning your pool. Here we have your leaf trapper. That's where all your large contaminants get caught, and this will need to be emptied once every few weeks. Over the back here, we have our in-floor distribution valve. That's what makes all your little jets pop up and disappear. Over here, we have our sand filter. Over here, we have our pump, which is our filter pump, our in-floor cleaning pump, heat pump, intellichlor. This generates your chlorine for your pool. Your acid pump. Your intellichem sensors. We have an ORP sensor and a pH sensor. And intellichem, this is the brains that runs all the pool operations for your cleaning side of things, for your chlorine. And finally, we have our Easy Touch unit, the proper brains that turns everything on and off. Hi all, now I'm going to run you through your procedure of cleaning your in-floor cleaning system. Now we first start off, we will go to our Easy Touch system. We will press mode twice until we hit see timeout up on the screen. When timeout's up there, it allows you to, if you forget not to push mode again, the pool will go into its own operation mode in 2 hours time. So it's the best setup to have in. Now we'll go across to our in-floor cleaning leaf trapper. You will undo the valves. Like so. You will shut this valve here by undoing this knob here. Shutting it there till it's pointing straight up in the air. We'll then undo the lid. We will remove the tags in here, just slight turn them like so. We'll open up this bag. As you can see, all the debris is caught in there. We'll then go empty the bag. Once you've cleaned your filter bag, reinsert your filter bag back into your leaf trapper, making sure that we turn the little tags like so. So they're all pointing out. Put your lid back on. Now it'll tighten up, and then you have to just keep going just a tiny little bit further, and that'll be tight. Replace your plug. Now we want to open this valve back up to the side, fully open on the side, do your knob back up. We then want to go back over to our Easy Touch and press our in-floor button. Prime the pump. Once you can see water filling this, you know your pump is fully primed again, and you can go back to your Easy Touch and turn your in-floor cleaning button back on. Our next step in our cleaning procedures is we go to our filter pump. We make sure that is off, and we make sure that's off by going up to our Easy Touch unit, making sure we are in time out by pressing the mode button twice. We then go back down to our pump. We go to our pump. We remove the lid by turning it anti-clockwise. You then remove your skimmer lid, the basket. As you can see, there's debris inside. Once that's all clean, we then place the basket back inside, put the lid back on, spin in an clockwise direction until it goes tight, like so. We then go back up to our easy touch unit to prime our pump, and we press filter pump. Pump will turn on in 30 seconds. Make sure, keep an eye on the pump, make sure it's pumping water, sucking water. Pump is now on. We then go back up to our easy touch unit and press filter pump on. Next part of our cleaning procedure is backwashing the sand filter. We once again make sure we are in timeout, which we still are. If you're not in timeout, press mode and twice, and that will take you to timeout. We push our handle down like so. We go round to backwash like so. We then turn our filter pump on. Pump will start up. As you can see, there's a little plastic viewing area. This will turn dirty because your filter is discoloured. Run your filter pump until this water becomes clear again. The joys of having a multi-cyclone filter is your backwashing time is cut down in half. So keep backwashing until this glass is then clear. As you can see now, the water in your viewing chamber is now clear. Don't worry if there's a little bit of debris in there, that's okay, that's fine. We then go back up to filter pump, push the button. We then have to put it into rinse mode. So once again, depress the handle, move around to rinse. Go back up to filter pump, press filter pump, pump will turn back on. Now, why you want to rinse it is it just realigns all the sand in the filter and just allows everything to work properly. Only have to give it a quick rinse. Now everything's back to normal, otherwise we'll wash out all our glass. Then we turn our filter pump back off. Then we push it back to press the handle and back to filter. We always want to make sure that our pump is off before we depress the handle. We then go back up to mode, press mode, and put our pull back into auto function. Okay. This part of our system is the Pentair intellichem. This does all your auto dosing for you. Come across here to our ORP sensor and our pH sensor. They need to be checked probably once every 12 months using a pH solution and an ORP solution. This is our acid pump. The little squeeze tube inside needs to be lubricated every 6 months. If we go down to back to our unit here, we have a little tank symbol just here. Now that tells you how much acid is left in your drum, but I prefer to actually go and do a pickup test on the drum, lift it up, see how full it is, and check it that way. Now when we are mixing our acid, we like to use a half acid, half water mix, as this will protect all these hoses for a much longer time. You won't have the hoses degrading in any way, shape or form. when you have a no flow come up on here, which is just here, you'll have a little light there, which will mean no flow. And it'll also come up on the screen saying no flow detected. What we'll have to do is come back across to here and turn our valves off there and there. We then want to go to our little black cap and make sure we hold on to the fittings. We open the cap. As this is a relatively new one, we can see our gauze filter is nice and clean. If it wasn't clean, all you do is just go wash it under some clean water. We then screw our cap back on, making sure to hold onto everything nice and tight so nothing breaks. We then open our valves back up, like so, and everything is back in its working order. As you can see, it says awaiting flow delay. Now after 50 countdown, the intellichem unit will go back into normal operation. This is our intellichem unit. This controls our pH and our ORP. Now at the moment you can see pH is at 7.4. I like to run the pools from anywhere from 7.2 to 7.4. If your pH went up all of a sudden, this is when your acid pump will kick in and it will dose acid into your pool. At the moment, this pool has no salt added to it as it's still in its render drying phase. That's why it is saying ORP low at this moment. But once you've got salt or magnesium added to your pool, this will automatically bring the ORP up to 700, 710, somewhere between there. During the day, these levels will bounce up and down a little bit, so don't be alarmed by seeing 650, 600. It'll bring itself back up to 700. The sun will degrade the chlorine. It's all part of how things work, so don't be too alarmed. But if you're seeing levels down at 400, 300 for constant days on end, that's when you either need to call a Normark maintenance visit or take a water sample to your local pool supplier. We use Reese for all our chemicals. They do all pool testing now at any of the irrigation and pool stores, but any local pool store will be able to help you out by testing the water and testing salts in the pool. Now if it is low salts, you'll need to add these bags of salt to the pool to bring it back up to levels. Our normal working levels for salt in a pool is from 3,600 to 4,000. The Pentair works best at 3,600 parts per million. And really, this takes care of itself. It'll do everything for you. You don't have to worry about your chlorine levels majority of the time. Just periodically come out and have a look and see where the levels are at. This is our chlorinator. As you can see at the moment, it's working at max 100%. It will vary up and down depending on how much the intellichem tells it needs chlorine. At the moment, this little red light is saying low salt because we haven't added any salt to this pool. But once it's all added, we will get the salt up to a level around 3,600 parts per million. You'll see this light flash up. Solid green means good salt, flashing green means high salt. If it's a little bit high in salt, that's okay because it will eventually go out of the pool and it'll come down to a normal level anyway. But this thing, really, you don't have to touch any of the buttons on it, just let it do its thing. The intellichem controls it. Don't push too many buttons on it. This is our Madimack heat pump. Now, you can either change the temperature on your app or change it on this. It's very simple to do. Hold the lock M button until the unit beeps. As you can see, we now can access the menus. To put the temperature up or down, pretty simple. Up on the arrow, down the arrow to go back down again. To change modes, we press this fan here. Press that once, that'll put it in silent mode. Put it into the second mode, which is not quite as efficient as silent, and then we go into our perfect mode, which then the unit runs at 100% and it'll up and down the revs to whatever the water temperature is, and it controls everything pretty much itself. To turn the unit off, it's as simple as holding that power button for 1 second, turning off, and to turn back on, we have to press the lock M button again, hold that down till the unit beeps, yep, and then we just press power. The unit is turned back on.